Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers...
Boom, baby. Happy winning on Wednesday. What is going on, Insurance Syndicate? Hope y'all are having an amazing kickstart to the week. You know what time it is. It is 9 a.m. Central. We are live here at Syndicate HQ in Austin, Texas. Again, hope y'all are having an amazing kickstart to your week. Happy winning on Wednesday. If you can, real quick, let me know that you can hear and see me in the comments. We do have an action-packed show for you guys. Start dropping those weekly wins in the comments because you know we're going to get there. But let us know where you're tuning in from as well. So let me just see some of those comments start going. What's up, Todd? Hey, Lily. Good morning. I appreciate you, Lily. Well, let's go ahead and get into our first shout out. As always, a huge shout out to Viva Virtual Solutions. They are the main sponsor of the show. You guys can see Lily there in the comments. She is who helps us just really run the group, but then edit, publish, clip on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You guys see all of it. And then even outside of what Lily's doing for us, shout out to Rob Lopez and everything they're doing on the virtual assistant side of things. For insurance agents, we've been using them for years. Can't say anything but amazing things when it comes to Viva Virtual Solutions. So shout out to Rob, shout out to Lily. Thank you guys for being the sponsor of the show. But I already started hinting at it, y'all. Start dropping them in the comments. Okay, you can hear and see me. All right, that's good. We're starting off right. But y'all know what day it is. It's winning on Wednesday, baby. It's the peak of the week. Let's not slow down and start dropping those weekly wins in the comments. Let's go. I don't care how big or how small. We want to be able to celebrate you. Start dropping those in the comments. What's up, Zach? What's up, Stacey? I see you in there. My weekly win. So it's a little bit different this week, but actually it's some of y'all maybe have seen my post. Daniel Gomez actually was posting here in the group, and I made a comment. It was a picture of me at church. I actually gave the main message for youth this past Sunday. And so my weekly win was obviously delivering that. It went well, but really in my small group, y'all. And I know I'm talking about my faith here, but you can apply this to your business where sometimes it's just that one person that needs to hear what you're saying in order to change the trajectory of their business or of their life. And there's this kid, Noah, who's been in my small group for, over a year now. So I do high school small group as well. And he'll talk to me every now and then, like just outside of small group, but in small group, like I could not get him to talk. Like literally, I've never heard him say like a single word in small group for almost literally probably over a year now. Y'all, he almost freaking ran the entire small group himself. And so that was just like so rewarding for me seeing that, okay, whatever it was that was delivered in the message, right? He picked up on something that seriously, whatever it was that allowed him to become bold and courageous and speak out and just be vocal within the group. That was very heartwarming for me. I always love that, especially giving back to the next generation. They're our next leaders. So that was definitely my weekly win. So start dropping those in the comments. I don't see any yet, but I see all you guys tuning in. So you better start dropping those wins in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate you. But I guess, y'all, without further ado, I'm really excited to have these gentlemen on. I guess Dart's going to chill backstage, but some of you guys probably have met Dart with Kixie, and you guys have probably met David as well. They have been on the tour of just going around to conferences and showing off Kixie and the platform and what all it can do. They were actually the sponsor of the most recent Ultimate Agent show with Cody Askins as well. So shout out to Cody. So I'm excited to have them on. I've got to hang out with them at the conferences. So we'll get to learn a little bit more about David and his backstory. And then we're actually going to take y'all on just a full demo of the platform and what, again, it can do for your agency. So without further ado, David, welcome to the show, my man.
Dude, it is so great to be here on the show. And I got to say, like the intro music, the whole intro in general had me so hyped. I go on so many of these webinars and podcasts where it's just dead silence coming in. And then it's so icy, and it's great to come in with like a great warm intro. I love hearing the story about Noah. That's awesome. One of my favorite things about being in management is also helping level people up. So for all of you guys tuning in, my name is David Gable. I'm the head of sales for Kixie, a software company. And I'm super excited to be here.
Love it, dude. Love it, man. Well, real quick, what's a weekly win for you before we get into some of your backstory?
I'm gonna launch off of what you just mentioned, which is last week we spent the whole week in Dallas, Texas, basically hanging with Cody Askins and all the 8% conference people. And it was so great to see people from like all over the world fly into Dallas, Texas, take a week out of their business time just to like want to improve themselves and up their game. And many of them I talk to, it's not even like they're struggling. These are really highly successful people already in the insurance space, but they're like, if I get even 5% better, it's worth a whole week of my time. And those are my favorite people to help and talk to and stuff. Because like those are the people that are, you just know you could drop them anywhere in the world and they will succeed. It's like the SEAL Team 6 of insurance agents, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I loved it. It was a great week. It's a highlight of my whole job is going and meeting people like that and helping them out. So that's my win.
Bro, you just dropped some. I hope y'all heard that. They're not even struggling.
Nope.
They're the ones that are at the conference, and then the ones that are struggling are not at the conference. I hope y'all just pick up on that. Maybe the reason they're not struggling is because we talk about it a lot here in the group. They show up, man, right? Even if it is a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was long, man. But, I mean, to your point, dude, the connections I got out of there. I got to give a little round of applause
it was sick.
on that
It was
one,
great.
man. I mean, it was so freaking good. Again, to your point, the caliber of people, the level of people that, especially in the vendor hall this year.
Yep.
Dang, bro. Like it was rocking and rolling, man.
It was awesome. Yeah. I felt really privileged to be a part of that. Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh, we got some wins here in the comments. Sold 25K in AP Monday and almost won a game of competitive cornhole last night. I know you're talking about that this morning. That's Todd. I think you've met Todd.
Oh, that's fun, dude.
Yeah, man. Shout out to drop those weekly wins in the comments, guys. Well, David, real quick, man. I've just recently obviously got to meet you, and I don't know really any of your backstory or anything. So, man, if you could you take us back, dude, and just kind of walk us through that timeline of what led you to this management role now and doing what you're doing with Kixie?
Sure. I'm a weird trajectory story. So for all of you guys out there who also found yourself in a place where you didn't expect to ever be growing up, I'm right there with you. So I grew up, nice Jewish kid, had no really interest in school in the beginning, very smart, but no interest in school. Ended up playing football a lot. Really, that got me through to college. After that, I wasn't that good. I was good enough to play football for college, but not good enough to get any further than that. And so after that, it's like, what the hell do I do? Like football is one of those sports, it doesn't age well. Like there's no pick up tackle football games at 40. Like there's not much you can do with that skill. So I was like, all right. So I'm like, okay, it's doctor or lawyer, nice Jewish mom. I'm like, okay. So I decided to go lawyer. I'll go to law school. So I go to law school thinking I'm going to do, criminal defense or something like that. So I make it all the way through. I have to redo undergrad because my grades were so bad the first time I went through playing football. I had to redo it from scratch to get into a good law school. So I redid undergrad in 3 years, got into a great law school, finished, completed, started working in law. And I don't know if anyone out here can relate. Like I realized I didn't actually like it. It was like the worst handcuffs ever. Like I redid this whole decade of my life to get to this point. And then I got to the point and I ended up not doing criminal defense because criminal defense was largely, I'll be honest with you, like horse trading people's lives for people's lives. Like you go and you have lunch with a district attorney and try and convince them to give this one guy a 3-year sentence if you'll trade another guy and get him to accept a 5-year deal, that kind of stuff. Couldn't do it. So I sold out and I did IP law. So all the stuff that you scroll on your phone and don't read, you just click I agree. I wrote that stuff. That's basically what I did. So paid well, miserably boring. And I decided, you know what? Like I was in my 30s at the time and I was like, dude, I spend most of my time at work. My number one kind of dedication in life is really to like being productive and being my job. I'll be honest, I'm wedded to my job. I like working. I like delivering value. And so I'm like, if I'm going to spend most of my waking hours doing this thing, it better be something I like, man. Because otherwise, this is a no way to live. So I moved down to Southern California. I decided I want to get in at a startup early on rather than be like kind of a later guy who just gets paid a salary. I saw Kixie, looked at the competitors in the space, saw that our technology was way further ahead. Even back then, I joined as employee number 5 when it was like, we have a little WeWork office, like no money. We hadn't raised any funding, nothing like that. And then we just grinded our way up, baby. And like now, we got over 100 people. We've got a big office on 4th and Wilshire in Santa Monica. It's been amazing. It's been the best thing I've done. Literally, I don't have kids, so this has been my baby, like raising this thing up. It's been really fun. Yeah.
I've been in that seat, man, where you're like, it's the one of few, man, and we're starting this thing. And like, I can't remember if we had talked about that when we started our agency in 2018. It was like, bootstrapping it. It's just me and a couple of friends of my dad did. And like, man, I hope
that's so cool.
Works, right? You just grind it out. I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
What was the mindset before we get into the platform and stuff? Well, stay tuned in with us. What caused you to redo your life? So football player, and then you're like, dude, I just spent this whole decade basically. Like, what was even the catalyst that made you decide to go that way? Just curious.
That's a great question. I mean, really, I guess, and I guess this sounds bad, but I just wasn't thinking that far ahead. It's so funny because in some ways I was such a smart kid, like able to get through law school and all this kind of stuff. On the other hand, I had no wisdom. So I think if you want to differentiate between intelligence and wisdom, very intelligent kid, extremely unwise kid, like got into trouble when I was young, just kind of a knucklehead. Right. I was very much thinking about like right now, I enjoy football and I enjoy hanging out and parties and all that kind of stuff. And then at a certain point, I'm like, what have I built in my life? I mean, literally at this point, you know, once you age out of football, like after college, like there's nowhere to go from there. Like, in fact, my body's going to get worse and worse. I can't play the sport. There's no money in it. Like, I had not created a path to anything. I had just like used my time enjoying life, which I guess isn't bad in moderation, but definitely not a good way to prioritize your whole life structure around. So I think, you know, I needed to kind of step back and think, okay, well, what the hell do I want my life to look like? And then work back from that. I'm like, okay, well, I do want to be able to raise a family, buy a home, be successful, that kind of stuff. And like, how would I get there? So I started kind of backtracking and figuring out, okay, how do I put the pieces together to finally land where I want to land? The one piece of advice I would say, like, this is a good, you know, in like the career counselor profession, a lot of times they will ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? And people pick careers that they think the output of the job is something noble that they really want to see. So for me, it was like, oh, I want to fix the criminal justice system, or I want to do something like that, this big worldview. After having worked in criminal defense, having worked at a bunch of nonprofit law firms and all that kind of stuff, and now working at a software company, I have to say my day-to-day happiness is a lot more dependent on the everyday minutia of what I do more than the greater scope of the job. So I could be at a nonprofit that serves some amazing human interest thing, right? Mm-hmm. But if my day-to-day is a bunch of internal politics and there's no money and funding for anything and everyone's kind of snipey and it's like a real hierarchy and bureaucracy, I'm going to be unhappy. I don't care what good I'm doing in the world. I'm going to be miserable. Right. On the other side, I could be dealing with like a telephony software. I never woke up in the morning. It's like, oh, I want to sell a calling and texting platform. Never in my life did that come up. Right. But if my day-to-day is working with really smart, engaging people, it's a high pressure, high reward situation, bunch of people on the phones, talking to people all day, like getting each other excited. I love it. So anyone out there thinking about careers or professions, and maybe you even encountered this with insurance, most of you probably didn't wake up one morning in high school and say, I want to be an insurance agent. Like, no, but you did? That's crazy. Did you really? Dude, was your dad in insurance or something?
Yeah.
No. Okay, that's the only way. That's the only way. There's no way. He didn't wake up one morning when he was a teenager.
Yeah, that is correct. He thought he was applying for a claims adjuster spot back in the 90s. He had just got out of college at State Farm. Turns out it was an underwriting position. He didn't even know.
Here
we are.
It's so funny. So I think a lot of times, in sales in particular, I think gets the bad end of the stick here. It's not seen sometimes as like a noble profession. Like someone said, you say you're a doctor or a lawyer, and everyone goes, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? Like that's such a noble profession. Don't ever buy that stuff. Like I know most of the people I know that I went to law school with in my class are unhappy as attorneys. Mm-hmm. And a much larger percent of the people I know who are in sales, software sales, are happy with their job. Same with insurance. Like honestly, like pick a job where the day-to-day is something that excites you. Forget the title or like people's opinion of it or whether people think it's some amazing job. Like, don't worry about that stuff, man. Like, don't worry about that stuff. Like, what is going to make you happy is picking a job where you enjoy the day-to-day. Even if it's tough, even if it's a grind, when you go to bed at night, you're like, you know what? Like, I don't dread tomorrow. Like, I'm going to crush tomorrow.
I want to wake up and get after it again, man. It's so funny you say that. My wife and her family, they're all like engineers for Boeing. Her dad's like a world-renowned doctor. Like, I mean, they're all geniuses, right? And then I just come through, and they're all traditional Catholic from Argentina. So I'm just like, I'm just this tall white dude that rolls through that's good at insurance, baby. And I did struggle with that.
With the basketball jersey on and everything.
100%, dude. Yeah. Like walking into that room where there was I would be like, man, like, do I really fit in with this family? And I did, right? But it was some of that self-doubt where I'm like, dude, I'm just an insurance guy, right? Turns out I'm pretty damn good at insurance. So it's, you know, and to your point there too, y'all, we're impacting lives just like a doctor or a lawyer does too, right? Now it may be different, and obviously we're operating in different spaces, not all the time, actually, sometimes in the same space. We're changing lives too, man. What we're doing really matters. I love that you said that, man.
100%.
Well, I guess let's just go ahead and get into it. I'll go ahead and bring up the screen, and then I know we've got Dart backstage. I'm gonna bring you up at the end of the show too, just to make you talk for a second. But we got D'Artagnan Shakespeare, my dude. You guys have probably again met him at the conferences, running from behind the scenes. So let me adjust the view on that one. Maybe a little bit better. I may just go full screen on it, and then let me turn.
Cool.
Let's keep that on and then turn that off. Okay. All right. I think we're good to go.
Awesome.
Everybody, yep, I went full screen. I can see that. Okay. Good deal.
Fantastic. So you're looking at Kixie right now. So what I'm going to do, I'll make this quick because I know no one wants to just stare at technology for 15 minutes. But before I even jump into it, I'll tell you why I wanted to do this. So like, I go to these conferences, 8% conference, this Winning on Wednesdays podcast, all the other shows I do. Like, I don't go on just trying to plug a technology, like, although it will very much look like that. Like, my biggest goal here, and my goal to 8% last week in any of these events, is all of you guys spend your time and energy and money and wake up early in the morning to tune into a show like this because you want to get better. Those people I talked about last week at 8%, some of them are already crushing it. They want to get even better, and they're spending all their time and energy and money and dedicating their own resources to improving themselves. And in my mind, one of the worst things that can happen is the people here watching this spend all this time, wake up early, dedicate themselves and their Wednesday mornings to improving. And after all that time and energy and spend, some kid, probably in California, beats you at your own game just because they have better technology. They didn't spend the time waking up early. They didn't actually put the effort in. They didn't put the dedication in. They don't really care that much about their job, but they just have some cheat code, some better piece of tech that lets them connect with people in a way you can't. And then they end up beating you at your own game. And I just think that's bullshit. I don't know if I can swear on it, but that's ridiculous. I really, it makes me mad. So my job at Kixie and a lot of our sales approach has been to take technology and bring it to industries and verticals that don't typically get a lot of love from tech. Like, I worked in the Bay Area for a long time. I was outside counsel for a bunch of different startup companies. And I noticed that most of the time they're selling to themselves or they're selling to the other coast. And there's this whole swath of America that they're just like, these untouchables or whatever. We're not going to sell tech to them, or we're not going to worry about them. They'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. So our job is really to bring technology to people who don't often get approached by different tech companies. And so my goal here today is just to show you what's possible out there. There might be other platforms that do some of these features too, but I just want to let you guys know what weapons people are using out there so you don't get out hunted at your own game.
That's true.
So I'm going to skip over the boring stuff. Like, there's a lot of Kixie is a calling and texting platform. It does all the normal stuff that every other dialer can do, like calling and texting and tracking, recording those calls and texts inside of a CRM automatically, and recording your calls and transcribing your calls and all that stuff. But that, I don't need to even get into that. I don't want to bore you guys with a product demo. I just want to show you some of the bleeding edge stuff that we do, so you know what other cheat codes people are out there using, and so you don't get left behind. So I think what I'm going to start with is connection boost, because the number one thing I heard last week at that conference was spam rates are killing people. They're killing people. And the iOS 26 update is coming soon, and that's going to make it even more difficult to get a hold of people. So I just want to show you like what we're doing at Kixie and what the more advanced dialers are doing to stay ahead of your number showing up as spam. So with a typical platform, you have a dedicated number, or maybe you've got a couple dedicated numbers for different area codes. And what you're going to notice is the more and more you hammer those 4 major mobile carriers, the more your number starts showing up as spam. And what happens is it's a vicious cycle. It gets marked as spam once, and then every other person, when it says suspected spam, also marks it as spam. And just like a bad credit score, it just spirals downhill. So what we did was we created almost like, you can think of it like Uber for phone numbers. So we have a bank of over 50,000 numbers just in the US alone, in every geographic overlay, so every telephone overlay. So for Los Angeles, it'd be 424, 310, all that kind of stuff. And whenever I go and I use Kixie to make a call to somebody, Kixie's going to pick a number from that rotating bank that is within 10 to 15 geographic miles of the person I'm calling. So it's local area code. It's going to pick a number that has a low spam rate across the mobile carriers, because we go and we check them against every mobile carrier every 24 hours. And it's going to rotate each time. And the rotation is key. So if I go and I make that call, and then I want to call them in another hour, because, like, let's be honest, the odds of them being free at the exact moment I call and picking up the phone these days is so slim. I mean, you want to hound these people. But if you hound them with your number, once again, they're going to end up marking that thing spam. So each time you call, different local number, different local number, different local number. That way, when you end up getting a hold of them, they don't have to know you called them 15 times that morning and you would have blocked their call if you'd known it was them again.
Oh,
they
that
just
wasn't
use
me.
they'd be like, man, people are blowing me up today. I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I happened to call you right after lunch. Good timing. It sounds like all the other guys got you at bad times. You know what I mean? Like, it's perfect. So, and all of that, and it sounds really complex, is a toggle switch. Dart's got it down in the upper right-hand corner. Literally all you have to do is toggle this thing on, and it will be the Uber for telephony for you for the whole day. Like, you can call as many people as you want, be as aggressive as you want. Your number will show as spam as infrequently as possible, and you won't get blocked. So that's just one feature called Connection Boost on Kixie.
Is that would they call that? I guess would that be like a virtual presence number where it's matching the area code as well? I've heard that term before, or I used to use those back in the day. But is it different?
Oh, well, it's different. I'll tell you how. Is
Cool.
that we don't have to spoof the number. So we buy all these numbers and actually own them. So if that person were to call back any of those 15 numbers that they saw show up on their phone earlier that day, that's going to route back to you as if it were your private number.
Got it.
So, and we do that by triangulating how the call goes between the three data points: the caller, the receiver, and the middle number that's being used to bridge the call.
Okay.
So they can call back any of those numbers. They're real numbers. They're not like spoof numbers or virtual numbers, which is what most people were using back in the day. Great. So that's just one feature, Connection Boost. I want to tackle another one. So, okay. So that's our, I want to get a hold of people. I don't want my number to show up as spam. The other problem I think most of you guys listening run into is just so many leads. You know, you have so many leads and not enough time. It's a great problem to have, but also it is a problem to have. Like, you know, people, no one's gonna shed a tear because you got too many leads. At the same time, it is actually a conundrum. If you only have so many hours of the day and you keep getting new leads piling in, how the hell do you make it through all that list, especially the aged ones that starts piling up over time? And you know there's gold in there, but you just can't quite get to it. You don't know where the gold is amongst all those numbers. So that's our AI human voice detect feature. So we have a power dialer, which you're going to see at other dialers have power dialers too, right? Ours allows you to dial up to 10 lines at a time. So great. Okay. Everyone kind of knows what that means. Instead of dialing one number at a time, you're dialing 10. And when a person actually picks up, you're being connected to them. But what happens a lot of times when you get a dialer like this is it connects you to voicemail. It connects you to an IVR. It connects you to a dead number that just gave a recording that the number is no longer in service. And you're like, what the hell, man? Like, that, literally, I'm connecting with exactly what I don't want to connect with over and over again at 10 times the rate, you know? So instead, what we do is we're using AI. I know it's a huge buzzword, but basically what AI is doing, it's screening the calls for you. So it's dialing out with all those lines. Each tentacle goes out to a new number. When one of those tentacles grabs a human and it says, okay, this is a human answering, not an IVR, not a voicemail, not a pre-recorded message, then all of a sudden it'll connect you with that person right away and get a hold of them. So this is like an AI SDR working for you, like as if you had a virtual assistant making these calls and then transferring them to you whenever you get a person on the phone. AI is doing it for you all day long. And this is one of those ones where I see, I'll say this, less skilled insurance agents beating more skilled insurance agents because they have an AI assistant just basically feeding them live calls all day of like actual people on the phone. I mean, that's such a power, increaser that it's tough to overcome that if you just through raw skill or ability. So
you can jump the list. You don't actually need to fix. I mean, because I've been on we have a dialer in our CR because we're not on Go High level, but it's you got to actually be on it, right? Whereas, so basically, you're saying, hey, you can dump a list in there and then let the AI go to work, and the only time you're going to be on the phone is because it's already doing all that for you. You nailed it. You got your headset on, you're doing whatever, and it's going to serve up live call, live call, live call, live call. Dang, so dude, it's amazing. It's one of the more exciting things we've done recently with AI. It's one of the first times where I saw AI and be like, oh,
damn, this is going to change everything. Like this is
Right.
a real level up for me. So I advise everybody, if you're using a single line dialer, you want to get a multi-line. And if you're using multi-line without some kind of AI or without a virtual assistant or something, I mean, this is going to make your life so much easier, so much easier. And I'll get to it at the end, but like we let people try this out for free. Like at the end of all of this, I'll give you guys an offer. You can test this stuff out, make sure it works. Try and find some gold in those age leads. Because like I said, you spent good money on those leads, and now you've got this bank account that you're not making any withdrawals from, but you know there's money in there. He's just like locked out of that bank account. And so that's how I like to think of all those age leads you guys have that you didn't get a hold of earlier. It's like, man, it's a bank account I can't make withdrawals from. That's so frustrating. Like, so this is a good way to do that.
I mean, you could also go, man, this has got my brain churning, where you could also even go on the, shift it from the lead side to the client side. Hey, you have thousands of clients that you want to have a touch point on and just say, hope you're having a great day or Merry Christmas or something like that.
Totally.
That could also be a really strong way too, because then it's like, oh man, I got to go through my whole agency management system and hit every single client and all that, where it's like, oh, or I could just export, put in, I would assume you just export, put in a CSV and it's doing its thing.
Okay. 100%. We can ingest straight from a CRM like HubSpot or High Level or Salesforce, or you can export, you can dump it all into a list, upload it right into Kixie. We're super easy like that. For what you're talking about, and I do this myself personally, like I will run through and try and auto call everybody that I need to, like that were channel partners or whatever. And if I don't get a hold of them, I can drop an automatic voicemail with one click, a pre-recorded voicemail, and I can send them a pre-scripted text message with one click too automatically. So we can also automate calls and text messages based off of all sorts of cool stuff like logging an outcome or automations that I can talk about too. And that stuff's really cool. Again, like you said, even for just touching base with people you want to keep communication with. Right. I run into this a lot in sales cycles that are longer, where you want to just touch base every couple of months and see how things are going. It's a great way to do that. Great way to do that. I think the last thing I'll touch on is a little bit of the AI and automation piece, because this is kind of a cool area where, again, we're like bleeding edge a bit, and I want you guys to kind of know what's coming. So right now, if you're working a traditional sales role and you come in the morning and you've got all these leads or all these deals in progress, there's really one of two ways you can attack that. Like you can either just start looking through them and figuring out, okay, oh, this guy emailed me yesterday, I should call him back. Or you know what, I emailed this guy twice, but then I saw him actually like browsing a pricing page, or I saw that a text message came in and I missed it, I should call him. But you're just kind of picking and choosing. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is maybe you've got some advanced software like Outreach or SalesLoft or something where it's like, okay, day one, make a call, day two, send an email, day three, make a call, day four, send that kind of thing. But the problem with both those approaches is there's no particular reason you're calling that guy on Thursday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on day 10, except that it either came up in your sequence as a task, or you happen to just notice that they sent an email and you missed it or something like that.
Right.
So much better than a rep doing that is AI doing that. So our latest and greatest is basically AI watching all of your deals and looking for signals, almost like think of having like a fishing line out for every deal. And the minute one of those deals nibbles on that line, boom, we trigger an automatic call to get hold of that rep right away. So you'll get an alert on Kixie. Hey, this person sent an email 2 hours ago. It had buying intent in it. He said he's ready to go. Do you want to make a call? You click OK, boom, makes a call that second, gets them on the line, closes that deal. So that's one other way of basically taking what would be a virtual assistant's job of telling you, hey, who to call, and just giving you an AI that does that for you. Again, we're all about taking people who don't have all those massive resources and giving them a tool to fight against people who do have those massive resources.
Right. With that, so now I'm going to ask this question because and maybe because it's been a while since I've been like, we would call that like predictive dialing, like where it was like, okay, so is that still the same term, or am I behind here?
It's predictive. No, you're great. It's predictive dialing. We're just using a bigger aperture to capture like why we're calling. So basically, we're looking at like any of that data flowing in, because if you're using technology these days, you have all this data coming into your system. You know what time, if they visited your webpage, if they sent you an email, if they sent you a text message you haven't responded to, you know if they dropped you a voicemail or not, if they booked a time on your calendar for a week from now, you have all this data coming in. Right. And what most people do with that data is call them on Thursday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on day 10, because it either came up in their sequence or they just happened to wander across the deal. Like all the data is coming in and we're not using it. We're just using our own eyes, hunting and pecking through numbers to see who to call. So it's just taking what AI is good at, which is looking at a massive amount of data and then looking for signal within the noise and jumping on every signal. So what typically happens for someone on Kixie, you've got what I would call it more of your machine gun running, your auto dialer, boom, 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 going through numbers really quickly. And then you've got a sniper rifle on the side that every so often will be like, oh, this guy just sent a text, call him right now. This guy just booked a time on your calendar for tomorrow, call him right now. Like, and it's firing off every so often too. So just kind of giving you the best of both worlds. And that's what a lot of the top people are using right now.
Right. Well, and that's why, I mean, that totally, I wouldn't say it 100% eliminates, but it eliminates a lot of anything slipping through the cracks. Right. Where, hey, man, maybe it is pure gold. And you did just miss that one text, but because we get how many a day, it gets buried. And then it is a week later and you're like, it's our deal's already gone. Like they already went with somebody else. Right. Or something like that.
100%. Yep. It's basically taking, most people who tune into this show, they're not leveling up their ability to sift through deals and hunt around for who to call. They're leveling up their skills on the phone, which is the most important part, right? Like that's what we're leveling up. We're leveling up our ability to speak clearly, to communicate well, to rebut like different, objections that we get for trying to sell whatever we're trying to sell. Like you're getting good at that stuff. So what I want to do is I want to take that administrative crap that we don't like doing, that we're not great at doing typically as salespeople, and I want to AI that away. That's my main thing is I want to be able to focus on the things I enjoy, which is really talking to people and helping them fix an issue that they have. And I want to give her the parts of the sales job that I hate, which is the administrative stuff, the logging stuff into the CRM, taking notes, all that stuff. We automate all of that for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just get right back to selling and the stuff that we're actually good at and we enjoy doing. Like it kind of comes full circle back to why we're in the profession we're in. It's not because we like administrative work. It's not because we like hunting and pecking through deals or talking to voicemails. We're in this job because we like communicating to people, solving real people's issues. And that's, I think, what makes sales a more noble profession than it typically gets blessed with, in the public eye.
Yes, agreed. Okay, I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, y'all are a dial. Well, I wouldn't even call you a dialer. Obviously, there's a dialer. What's the proper term for Kixie? Because I wouldn't call you, a CRM or a dialer.
Like sales engagement platform is what people typically say. Calling and texting automation. I know. It's all these terms.
So curious as to back when y'all first started. What was the year that Kixie started? When there was the 5 of you guys?
I joined when I was in 2016. I want to say 2016, 2017.
Okay. What was the case study or the numbers y'all were running where like, dude, this customer engagement platform or whatever we just called it is gonna change people's lives? And obviously, dude, you guys are huge now. Like you guys are totally blown up. And I know a lot of what y'all are doing with Go High Level and some of the, I mean, your user base has just probably exploded. What was it back, almost 10 years ago that was like, dude, this is going to like change the game? Like, what was that?
It's so funny. I joined the company. I looked at another company called Aircall, and this isn't to like slam on a competitor or anything, but Aircall was, I think, a $250 million company at that point, and they didn't even have texting. It was an integrated dialer. And I thought to myself, I'm like, if a $250 million company in this space doesn't have texting in the year 2016, 2017, I'm like, man, we can dunk on these guys. Like we can really do well in this space. Because I'll tell you why. Like, again, it's an unsexy space. I'll say this from first principles. Up in the Bay Area, in Silicon Valley, the idea of starting a tech company around phones or mobile phones was just, if it's not an app, it's not cool, man. No one wanted to fund that. Like it's such an unsexy space. You have to provision numbers. You have to negotiate call rates with random countries. There's all this bureaucracy that comes with telephony. So I was like, you know what? Like picks and shovels, baby. Like where do people make the money? Not in hunting for the gold, but in selling the picks and shovels to people who hunt for gold. Same thing. This is like, for a salesperson, can they not have a phone? No, they can't. It's not a nice to have. It's a must have. And so I was like, I want to work in a must-have. Again, I had changed my whole thinking around like, what's a job that people think is cool and is like a well-renowned profession, to like what actually matters day to day, what's going to actually impact people's lives day to day, and what's a good business to be in. And so much like a lot of you guys probably listening that joined insurance, because it is a way to pay and raise a family without necessarily having a bunch of gatekeeping, like bureaucracy. You don't need a JD from some expensive school in order to sell insurance. You just don't. And it relies on, it's a meritocracy. I'll say that. So like, if you are good at your job, you will earn money. And if you're bad, you won't. You don't have to play office politics or any of that kind of stuff. You just have to be an athlete of sales, right? Just like those photos behind you. So This felt like a space where it was the same thing. It's a meritocratic space. If we can deliver a more powerful platform, even if it doesn't look as nice, people are going to adopt it because this is what's feeding their families and putting bread on the table. This is what allows them to change future people's lives by selling them insurance they desperately need. So that's why we did it, man. That's kind of why I leaned into it. You know?
I love that you said that because guess what, y'all? So it's funny. Shout out to Tracy Bibb. She was my first ever boss who gave me a shot with Allstate back when I was 19. And
awesome.
One of the first questions she asked me was like, why insurance?
Yeah.
And I think, well, I do love to freaking make money. And statistically, you know, insurance and financial services produce the most millionaires. I love to help people, right?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I can make a lot of money by and I do love to help people. Like that's my heart. Even I'm sure in the very
me too.
moment that it's like, dude, people are my passion, man.
Hell
and then number 3, dude, job security. Like, now granted, this is property and casualty, but I'm damn near illegal not to have.
Yeah,
so
right.
If I can make a bunch of money, and it's just like, hey, guess what? Somebody's always going to have. You're so right.
Yep.
A freaking phone, dude.
Always. You're 100% right. I think a lot of times when you have those aspirational jobs that everyone's fighting for because they're held in such high esteem by society, that's almost where you don't want. That's like oversaturated. Do you know how many goddamn attorneys we have in California? Way too many. Do you know what jobs AI is coming for harder than anybody? Attorneys. Like my old profession of writing all that stuff no one reads. Man, that is going to get devastated.
Yeah.
Just devastated.
You run that through a chatbot. I mean, just boom, done. I mean,
dude, immediately. So I think a lot of the jobs that we used to think of as being really prestigious and hard to get into, and they are, man, AI is going to actually eat them first. It was so funny. I thought AI was going to come for we all thought the blue collar workers first, like truck drivers and stuff. Now it's coming for doctors who are looking at like pathology reports. It's coming for lawyers who are writing NDAs. It's coming for all those professions. The people. We're gonna be the last one standing before AI takes the job. Yeah,
100%. All right, well,
plumbers are safe. You know,
real quick, plumbers, 100%. Real quick here before we kind of start to wrap up a little bit. Nerd out with me here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro, telephony has changed so freaking much,
dude.
I mean, it's insane, and I'm not even. Again, like I know some people that are pretty like all they do, and it's funny you said, man, I didn't wake up one day and we're like, oh yeah, telephony companies, baby. It's it's some of the very brief conversations I've had with others as well. It's like, dude, it's crazy, man. Like what's going on? Like what?
Yeah,
like trying to monopolize what? I mean, now and then obviously the complaints and the consumer stuff now that's changed. I mean, it's like Wild Wild West, man. It's crazy.
It is. It's a lot like what happened with marketing. So I don't know if this is going to age myself, but for those of you guys who remember, there was a day when you could just load up like 1,000 emails, hit send at once, send out 1,000 emails. They all landed in people's inboxes and people would actually reply. Like that was a miraculous time. Like that was a crazy time when everyone was like, and then at a certain point, Google and the other email providers started saying, no way, man. They start blocking things as spam, moving it to different inboxes, marking it as unpriority, all that kind of stuff. And like that dream was over. The same transition kind of happened in telephony, where there was a time when you could just spray and pray, super easy. Everyone picked up, no spam blockers, no suspected spam call. Pickup rates were over 20%. I mean, it was a crazy time. And now the exact same thing is happening. They're cracking down on that. And so this is becoming a cat and mouse game in the same way email did. So now the telephony companies, all 4 major mobile carriers, are constantly making their own. They've got third parties, each of them, like Hiya works for AT&T. They each have a third party they outsource their spam detection to. And it's looking at your phone call the same way like your email looks at a new email, or your credit check gets run to buy a car or get a loan. Like that phone number is your new credit score. Whenever that phone number encounters a mobile carrier, the mobile carrier is checking and saying, okay, what do other carriers think about this number? How many people have declined this call in the last 48 to 72 hours? How many people have actually accepted this call? And they're checking against that credit score. So it's more important than ever that you have 2 things. You want some protection so that your own credit score doesn't get messed up. It's like running a credit check too many times and your credit score goes down. Same sort of thing with your phone number. If you call too many people and too many people decline it, now your credit score drops. You need some protection for your own number to keep that thing safe.
Right.
And then you also want some numbers that like you don't mind getting dirty. And so we're going to give you thousands of numbers that you don't mind playing in the mud with and getting those numbers dirty, because we'll pull them and replace them. We'll handle all that stuff for you. You know?
Right.
But it is a wild, wild time right now.
So let me ask, is if it's myth or not. So again, his name's Tom Bianco is the other gentleman. And they run Ricochet 360 CRM, and they have the predictive, that they have all that stuff in there too. And I haven't been with them in years, but I remember our conversations where, and he actually it was not too long ago, man, gosh, probably like a year ago now though. He was on the show and just talking about, dude, stop triple dialing. Because he's like, the phones they're starting to see you. And again, I see so many agents doing it on their personal number. And it's like, dude, you're going to burn your personal number. But triple dialing, and then also something that I used to do, I never triple dialed, but I would let it ring over to voicemail, but just let it click, and then I hang up. And he's like, dude, if you are better off either not, because I just wanted to get that additional ping. Hey, missed call, and that's when you could still text them too without consent. So it's a missed call, text, and a voicemail. Oh shit! Like, they're like, who is this? Right? But then he said, no, they're monitoring, like, where if you're just clicking over and not actually leaving a voicemail, that can also hurt you too. Is that
crazy?
Or?
It's not myth. But I'll tell you two things we do to kind of get around that. So one is voicemail drops. So if you get a hold of someone and it clicks over to voicemail, click one button, already have a pre-recorded voicemail. It will hang up the call, and Kixie will take over and leave the voicemail and the call while you're halfway into your next call. So we'll take over that for you. So that way we fix that problem. And then the other one is just making sure you rotate numbers. Because the great thing about triple dialing or double dialing is it will punch through the do not disturb on iPhones a lot. But you're right. Then it also damages your number. So what we do is we rotate numbers each time. And if you triple dial but use a different number each time, usually it will punch through anyway, even though it's a different number. Because I imagine the iPhone thinks, oh my God, maybe there's some emergency at home, or there's something at the kid's school and everyone's trying to get a hold of this person. So it lets you punch through, but punch through using not your own number. So you don't get the damage to your own number, but you still get through to the person. And so that's the kind of cat and mouse we're in right now, where we have a whole bank of like all these different phones that are constantly testing these numbers against each mobile carrier. And then we're pulling and replacing them. And it is a crazy cat and mouse game. Every week it's like something new, but that's why you rely on someone like us to do that dirty work for you,
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah.
That's strong. I didn't think about the 3 with a different number, because that would punch through. I love the punch through too. You got to get through,
baby.
Got to get through the D&D, man. Yeah,
that's it. 100%. It's gonna be even worse with that iOS 26 update when they have the new screening mechanism. Same sort of thing. So we're getting ready for that too. It's a crazy world for dialing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Well, hey, Lily, real quick, if you could, I see you here tuned in with us. If you could drop that link that I had dropped you before the show, for anybody that's wanting, and maybe David just kind of walk it. Hey, somebody wants to check it out. What do we got? Obviously, we're dropping the link there. That link is specific for Insurance Syndicate folk as well. So you're going to see Kixie here within the group. They are a new preferred vendor of ours. So Lily, if you could drop that in the comments for me, and y'all, you can click that. And then maybe David, what is that going to take them to? And then what do they get?
It's going to take you to a sign up page for Kixie. We're going to give you a free trial of Kixie. You make as many calls on it as you want. We're going to unlock unlimited dialing. We'll let you pound it a whole week, make thousands of calls, get a hold of some people, close some revenue. If you love Kixie, then go ahead and buy it. If you don't, then great. No harm, no foul. We help you connect with some more people and you can bounce. But again, my goal is to make sure that you guys at least get a chance to taste what's out there and see the high level technology that's out there. And you can decide if you want it. It's a super low pressure sale. And I really like helping people in this community. So we're going to hook you up with better pricing, hook you up with better billing terms, all that kind of stuff. If you use that link in there below, and then check us out, sign up for a free trial, make some money.
Absolutely, dude. I love it, man. Yeah. Well, last question I'll ask you before I let you go. It's actually been one of my I haven't been at, or I didn't used to ask it. Now it's probably my favorite question to end with. And I've just gotten some really powerful responses, and it's kind of outside of Kixie, but maybe it's involved in the response, right? 5 years from now, what do you hope people say about David?
I hope. Yeah. That's great. That's a good point. I hope they say I've had a positive impact on their lives, and or that there was some bit of wisdom or insight that I gave them that they were really able to latch onto. I mean, I think that's one of the things we leave behind. I mean, your story about Noah really touched me, because I think, like you said, the next generation isn't going to involve us, right? It's by definition, it isn't us. And so the legacy you're going to have is whatever impact you have on those people who are going to be left behind when you're gone. And so I think at the end of the day, my favorite part of this job, whether it's a leveling up, most of the salespeople I hire have never worked in tech before. And that's by design. I like giving people a chance to break into an industry they weren't able to get into before, because I don't care about college degrees or any of that kind of stuff. And so that's one of my favorite parts of the job. The other thing I really love is going out to conferences or being on webinars like this and being able to empower people with technology. And I imagine a lot of the people out here listening, you feel the same way about insurance, or you should. Like, you're helping somebody out with a problem, and you hope that at the end of helping them out, they're going to say, dude, that was a good guy. I really loved, great process, real fun to talk to. And he helped me solve something I needed to solve so that I can look after my future generation or my kids or whatever. So that's what I hope. And I hope that for all of you guys too, that you guys have that same kind of impact with the people you deal with.
Love it, man. Love it, dude. Well, hey, real quick, Dart, I got to bring you on here. Everybody say what's up to Dart. You guys have seen Dart at the conferences.
What's up, guys? D'Artagnan, Dart for short. Oh, yeah, give me that AirPod. Met Joe, I think it was at the SWAT event, right? With Nate back in the day. And from there, it was just clicked. Super stoked to be on here. It's honestly the coolest podcast we've ever done. Like 100%, like with the energy, all of that. And excited to actually play a game one-on-one on you, dude, and cross you up one of these days. So we'll get it going. But check out Kixie. It'll be great. Like I said, we'll hook you guys up with anything you need. And excited for what's to come.
So when you're asking about one-on-one, I'm like, oh man, yeah, we got to, bro.
Yeah, you gotta give me the one voice.
You know I appreciate you, bro, and I'm excited to have you guys here within the Insurance Syndicate. Y'all, again, check out the link in the comments. Hanky's like, Dart, what up?
Hey, what's up, Hanky?
Dart. But yeah, guys, check out the link in the comments. Let us know if you have any questions. You guys are going to start seeing Dart and David here more in the group. And Dart, David, thank you guys. David, seriously, thank you for your time this morning, man. I really appreciate y'all. And y'all, it is winning on Wednesday. It is the peak of the week, right? Do not slow down. Let's finish out strong. And I hope all of y'all have an amazing rest of the week. We will catch you guys next week at 9 a.m. Central. Later.
Get it.